Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live. You're watching News 6 at noon.
Breaking now at noon, a bomb threat has prompted a lockdown at several Lake County schools, with Lake Mineola High School at the center of it all. Lake County Sheriff's deputies are canvassing at the school. That's where we find News 6's Mike Valenti. And Mike, a big update. The district saying the bomb threat is not credible.
Yeah, Julie, good afternoon. That's the important update we've gotten from law enforcement authorities, specifically the Lake County Sheriff's Office. As you said, they believe that this threat is not credible, but obviously out of an abundance of caution, they responded as they would if it were credible. So right now what's happening, deputies are searching the area, canvassing everything on campus. We're talking about the parking lot, going around with bomb-sniffing dogs, and also going into classrooms. But again, most significant thing, that bomb threat made by apparently an anonymous caller this morning, not believed to be credible. Still, though, the situation continues in terms of the lockdown. We understand, based off of talking to parents, that their kids have resumed learning, that they're not in the same exact posture as they were this morning when they said their kids were actually hiding in the class. But there is minimal movement as authorities continue to do their due diligence, go from classroom to classroom to ensure there is no threat. We don't have a timetable on when this lockdown will be lifted, but as I'm sure you can understand, there are a lot of anxious parents that are eagerly awaiting this lockdown to be lifted. Talked to several already who say that even though this is not credible, they want to check their kids out, that this was a pretty alarming, disturbing day. Here's one such parent we talked to earlier today.
Well, it was like an adrenaline rush. My heart was pounding. I went back, and my initial thought was, if I hear or see anything, I'm going to take action. So.
Is he scared right now?
Yeah, he was pretty scared.
So I was a parent of a freshman here at Lake Mineola High School. He had told us that his son was actually late for school. He had just dropped him off, and he was coming back home when he had heard what happened, when he was alerted by school district officials. But again, as I said at the top, this threat made by an anonymous caller, not believed to be credible, but still the high school was put on lockdown. There are also surrounding schools due to this situation that were put on a soft lockdown. We're talking about Mineola Charter School, Grassy Lake Elementary, and Pinecrest Lakes Academy, all been placed on a soft lockdown. There are also Claremont schools, per Claremont police guidance, that were put on lockdown. Those lockdowns have since been lifted. You can actually hear the chopper above me from the Lake County Sheriff's Office ahead as deputies continue to do this important work and hopefully clear the situation and let class resume as normal. But as I said, there are some parents who are ready to check their kids out of school. Just heard what appeared to be an unmarked vehicle go through. But again, this road is shut down. We'll continue to update you as soon as we have any more information as the situation warrants it. But for now, we're live outside Lake Mineola High School. I'm Mike Valenti, News 6.
Mike, thank you for that update. Also breaking at noon, a house fire in Palm Bay has left a 10-year-old boy and an elderly woman dead. It happened around 2:20 this morning on Janus Road Northeast, west of I-95. Palm Bay Fire Rescue says firefighters found a woman outside the home who said 2 others were trapped inside. Firefighters tried multiple times to get inside that house, but say the extreme fire kept them from getting inside. Fire officials say the elderly woman and the 10-year-old died in the fire. The woman outside the home went to the hospital for treatment. The cause of the fire is under investigation. We will stay on top of these breaking stories. To find out the latest, head to clickorlando.com. Time now is 12:04, so time to get a check of your forecast. We were tracking a cold front that came through yesterday, and we certainly are feeling the impacts of that right now. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos.
Yes, and we're both in turtlenecks.
Wonderful.
That just goes to show you the cold front is here. But if you're like us and you're bundling up already to the start of the work week, get ready, because it's going to get even colder as we wrap up the work week. Temperatures out the door right now. It's a nice cool start, 57 degrees in Ocala for your early afternoon. We're at 61 in Leesburg, 66 in Sanford. You can see, though, right along the Space Coast, though, still in those low 70s. There is still quite a breeze in play right now, making it pretty rough for beachgoers and boaters out there right now. The worst of it showing those wind gusts upwards about 25 to 30 miles per hour. Now, throughout the day, the winds will die down a little bit, but right now, compared to Sunday afternoon, we're running between 9 and about 13 degrees cooler this afternoon than yesterday. Our high is really not warming up much further than what we're currently dealing with right now, upper 60s, low 70s area-wide. Now, I do want to turn your attention to the drought monitor. Abnormally dry. Our dry season has been unusually dry, but we're finally going to start working some rain back into the forecast. It's going to be on Wednesday and possibly Thursday. We're talking late Wednesday, early Thursday play as a stronger cold front comes through, dropping temperatures even further. We'll have your full forecast for the work week ahead coming up in just a few minutes.
Candace, thank you. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell says he is under investigation by the Trump administration. It comes as the administration has scrutinized an ongoing renovation at the central bank's office building in Washington, D.C. But Powell signaled he thinks the probe is really about interest rates. CBS's Natalie Brand has reaction from the White House.
Public service sometimes requires standing firm in the face of threats.
In a rare video statement, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell revealed the Justice Department served grand jury subpoenas Friday, threatening a criminal indictment related to his congressional testimony last June about renovations at the Fed office building. The Trump administration has criticized the project, estimated at $2.5 billion, as costly and ostentatious. But Powell says the unprecedented action comes in the face of ongoing threats and pressure to lower interest rates.
The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president.
Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have blasted the probe. Republican Thom Tillis said in a statement, now the independence and credibility of the Department of Justice are in question.
Are you worried that the probe undermines the independence of the central bank and could destabilize the markets?
I guess the question is, if you think the building costs $20 billion or $10 billion, do you think at some point that it's appropriate for the federal government to investigate?
The Trump administration says it's prioritizing investigating any abuse of taxpayer dollars. But the Federal Reserve is self-funded and an independent agency. In recent months, President Trump has repeatedly criticized Powell and previously threatened to fire him.
He should be fired. Guy's grossly incompetent.
Powell's term as Fed chair ends in May, but he remains on the Board of Governors until 2028. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Winter Park police are investigating whether the man they arrested for burglary could be connected to even more break-ins. Police arrested Joel Rosario over the weekend after he ran away from an unoccupied home on Phelps Avenue and hid an unmarked police car. Deputies caught him after a brief pursuit. Rosario is now facing multiple charges, including burglary and aggravated battery on a law enforcement officer. He is being held on no bond. Police say he's also suspected in 3 other burglaries over the last 5 days, and investigators are working to determine if he's responsible for even more crimes in the area. Tonight, the Lake County School Board will once again discuss rebuilding Eustis Elementary. The 100-year-old school is special to the community, and plans to give it new life are set to push forward. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez is in Eustis with more.
For that to happen here in our own community is fantastic.
Brianna Phil hopes to see Eustis Elementary shine bright once again.
I think it's long overdue. This neighborhood absolutely needs something upgraded and new for these kids here in Eustis.
The school, over a century old, is set to be rebuilt soon. The Lake County School Board voted last fall to reconstruct and expand the school. Renderings of a remodeled Eustis Elementary maintain its historic charm, like the iconic arches and front porch.
I love that Eustis really makes that a priority. Having that historical significance, even if it's just the architecture, it's important.
Keeping the school in the same location was also a big priority.
That was one of the first things that we heard from that community, was how much this really is the heart of this area and how much they have embraced it, honestly, over the 100 years.
There's several upgrades planned, from new buildings to in-classroom bathrooms and new technology. The design phase is underway, and Monday night, 3 agenda items will focus on this part of the project, with the initial plan creating enough room for 650 students, but leaving space for future expansion to accommodate up to 750. While construction is happening, students will be moved to the Kurt Wright Center for the start of school in 2027. They'll stay there until August 2029, when they can return to the brand new Eustis Elementary School. In Lake County, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
In Apopka, a two-car crash sent a police officer to the hospital. It happened last night around 11:45 at the intersection of Clarkona Road and Cleveland Street, just southeast of Phyllis Wheatley Elementary School. Apopka police say the officer went to the hospital as a precaution. Florida Highway Patrol says the driver of a Hyundai Genesis, a 19-year-old man, did not go to the hospital and did stay at the scene. We're still waiting to find out what led up to the crash, and we will let you know when we learn more. 2 people are hurt after a 4-vehicle crash closed a busy intersection near a high school in Windermere. It happened this morning around 6:15 on Summerport Village Parkway at Fiquette Road. That's south of Windermere High School. Florida Highway Patrol says the crash involved a Toyota Corolla, a Mazda CX-5, a 2023 Toyota RAV4, and a 2022 Toyota RAV4. We are still waiting to find out what led up to the crash, and we'll let you know when we learn more. A historic cemetery getting a much-needed facelift. Coming up, the community effort to bring a Volusia County landmark back to life.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
A forgotten and neglected piece of Daytona Beach history is now getting a full facelift. I'm community correspondent Jarrell Baker here in the newsroom. Now, we first told you about Pinewood Cemetery last year and showed you how it was looking unrecognizable and just fell into disrepair. But now several volunteers have rolled up their sleeves this weekend and helped restore the cemetery. Heavy machinery, volunteers, and more. Hard at work at Pinewood Cemetery Sunday, giving a forgotten historic piece of Daytona Beach history a much-needed facelift.
This cemetery has been abandoned with no true owner since the Merchants Bank went belly up back in the Great Depression. So this is really, really huge.
This is what the cemetery looked like when News 6 first told you about this back in June last year. After decades of neglect, business owners, landscapers, and volunteers are stepping up to help restore the burial site.
My history is I've been here 3 years, but I was raised here. I've seen it grow, I've seen it come back, I've seen it grow up. I want to be part of this cemetery.
Not a dollar was spent other than everybody's time here.
Tom Coffrey with the Historic Pinewood Cemetery Association says that more than 1,700 people have been buried in the 152-year-old burial site, including one of the brothers from the Muriel McCoy family, the famous rum runners during Prohibition.
We've got some of the founders of Daytona, the first police chief, the first mayor.
With the help of all the volunteers, the recently formed nonprofit is hoping to transform the site into a place worth visiting.
You know, we've cleaned up the homeless people out of here. We're bringing new life to this cemetery.
The organization is hoping to get the cemetery up and running by the 4th of July. In Daytona Beach, Jarrell Baker, News 6.
Time now is 12:15. Let's take a look outside. This is a live look from our Launch Credit Union camera at Port Canaveral. Looking so pretty out there. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos is here. Candace, is Monday, and we are kicking off a lot of changes this week.
Yeah, we're going to be trending well below average for the majority of the next 7 to 10 days. So if you were one of those that maybe got lulled into that spring-like weather last week, winter is still here. Let's talk about those changes. A cool start to the work week. Obviously, right now, temperatures, we woke up to the 40s and 50s, highs staying in the 60s throughout the majority of the day. So really nice day on tap. We do have a little more cloud cover that will linger today and tomorrow. Then we're tracking the arrival of our next cold front. Right now, it shows late Wednesday afternoon throughout Thursday morning, kind of halfway between, kind of straddling both days there. We will have the chance of dealing with a couple of more scattered showers. Our coverage about 30 to 50%. And then once that front clears, we're talking much colder air. Could see even the coldest air of the season so far. Now temperatures out the door right now. It is nice and cool. It's nice and comfortable right now. There is a bit of a breeze though in place right now with our temperatures in the 60s and 70s. But now let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for today.
Your forecast is sponsored by Strata Services.
Highs are going to struggle to hit that 70-degree mark on average. Our average should be about 72 degrees. So it will be kind of cloudy with that nice strong north breeze in place. Now later on tonight, same setup as this morning, 40s and 50s at play, maybe even a few 60s along the coastline. No frost, no freeze, nothing to be too concerned about. That will all change though towards the end of the week. So let's look here. Clouds and rain futurecast still showing a lot of kind of that mix of sun and clouds in the forecast throughout the majority of the day, both today and tomorrow. Then as we head into your Wednesday evening, again, this is more the second half of the day. Models are picking up a big slug of moisture that's actually going to be moving in from the Gulf ahead of that front. So you can see scattered showers, a couple of heavier downpours can't be ruled out, will linger into the overnight hours into early Thursday. After that, we'll have possibly a little lull, and then into Thursday morning is where we will have another round of some scattered showers, kind of cloudy, drizzly at times. Can't rule out the chance of a pocket of a heavier downpour or two, maybe even an isolated thunderstorm, but the overall thunderstorm chance is on the low side with those skies clearing. But again, once all that shower and storm activity moves out, we're talking a nice big old blast of colder air, which could even rival the coldest air of the season so far. In Orlando, the coldest point has been about 38. So far this season, could get below that come Friday morning. Now your rain chances between Wednesday and Thursday ranging between, again, about a 30 to 50%. And the rainfall rates, although it's not drought busting rainfall, this is very beneficial. We need it. Our drought continues to worsen with every weekly update. And you can see between about a quarter to about half of an inch of rain can't be ruled out. So that's good for us. And of course, it happens right smack in the middle of the week. It's better than that than on the weekend. Now temperatures, though, Friday morning, this is a quick snapshot of what you can expect. Temperatures could get down into those 30s. If we get below 38, it would be the coldest morning of the winter season. Could get close to near freezing across our northwestern zones. Could also be kind of breezy as well, meaning our feels like temperatures could get down to feeling near to just below freezing almost area-wide. On top of that, not only will we possibly have cold weather advisories, we could be tracking some patchy frost and freeze in the forecast. So again, if you thought today and this morning was cold, get ready. It'll get even colder. Again, the coldest point there will come early Friday morning. But before we get there, much needed rain back into the mix Wednesday and Thursday. We, of course, will continue to iron out those details as it's certainly a mixed bag in the forecast, Julie.
Candace, thank you. Target is looking to expand its footprint in the U.S., including right here in Central Florida. Coming up, what the company's long-term goal is and where that new store will be. And coming up on News 6 at 6.
Results after a News 6 investigation. Last November, we told you about an Apopka family who lost tens of thousands of dollars after a roofing company cashed their insurance check but never replaced their roof. Now, another company saw that report and is replacing the family's roof at no charge. I'm investigator Louis Bold, and we'll have the story tonight at 6 on News 6.
The city of Orlando is welcoming its new leaders into the council chambers. A swearing-in ceremony took place this morning for commissioners representing Districts 1, 3, and 5. District 1 is now represented by Commissioner Tom Keene, District 3 by Commissioner Roger Chapin, and Commissioner Shan Rose will continue to represent District 5. Commissioners Keene and Rose won their race in the November election, while Commissioner Chapin won his district in a runoff election in December. Target says it is in the process of opening at least 30 stores in 20 states. That includes several locations in Florida. One of them is opening here in Lake Nona. Opening dates have not been announced yet. Long term, the retailer says it wants to add more than 300 locations over the next decade. The expansion comes after Target announced 1,000 layoffs and the elimination of about 800 positions in October. This after slumping sales and blowback from its DEI programs. You're watching News 6 at noon. We're back in just 3 minutes.
All right, talk about a mixed bag of stuff to talk about in the weather department. It's going to be a nice mild day today and tomorrow throughout the afternoon. We're watching two kind of pulses of moisture, one coming in out of the Gulf on Wednesday, another strong cold front on Thursday. The chilliest point of the season, though, come Friday morning.
All right, Candace, thank you so much. And thanks for joining us this noon. Our next newscast is at 3, and you can always check clickorlando.com for any updates. Have a great day.